iron sharpens iron, so one sharpens another. Who is your friend? Hello, my name is Victor Afolabi, and in this video we'll be looking at friendship examples in the Bible. This will help us with wisdom on how to choose who our friends should be as Christians and the kind of friend we should be to others. The first example we're looking at is David and Jonathan. Perfect example. I always love the scenario that plays out between David and Jonathan. It's the kind of relationship where no one is intimidated by your lifting. Everybody understands that I am here to help you achieve your goal. How many of you can confidently say you have covenant friends like Jonathan was to David? Covenant friends are really scarce. It is not driven by your likes or dislikes. It is not driven by your selfish ambition. It is God ordained. You will realize that even as you walk with God, God will begin to send certain kind of persons your way that would just fall in love with you. It's like they've known you forever. And it's not because there's anything so special about you. It is because they were specially positioned by God to help you achieve your goal on time with the least amount of effort. You will see how Jonathan freely gave David a lot of things when he came into the palace to live with them. The friendship was not just professing of the mouth. It was about sharing the things that they had as privileges. The Jonathan-David friendship was not driven by emotions. It was driven by covenant. You see them making covenant with each other, not a diabolic kind of covenant, but because there was so much, connection between them. And sincerely, I tried to look at, for what reason? Because Jonathan must have known that if David survived, he was going to take over his father's throne, and it means that he would not be the next king, and probably as he should have been. But it was not threatened by this assignment. It was not threatened by the success of his friend. It was not threatened by all of this. In fact, he was willing to let go. These are the kind of friendship that you should keep. People that are interested in seeing you fulfill your God-given assignment. People that are not selfish, self-centered. You also should not be selfish or self-centered, but you should be willing to help someone achieve their goal, whether they will bless you in return or not. But of course, we saw in 2 Samuel chapter 9 that David later, even after Saul and Jonathan had died, when he ascended the throne, asked that who is remaining in the house of Saul, that I may have mercy on such because of Jonathan. It means that true friends still exist. True friends can exist, and you can be such a friend that you covenanted yourself to someone, and whether they are there or not, your words can be a law. The second kind of friends that I would like us to look at is Job and his friends. Interesting, right? Yeah. As bad as many people tried to view Job's friend, the first thing they did was they heard of their friend's predicament, and they did not abandon him. They actually went to visit him. In fact, if you read the scripture, you'll discover that for some days, they were in the mood, sympathetic, or should I call it, they were empathizing with him to see the agony their friend was going through. That is one thing that is necessary in your friend or your friendship. It is to say that when you go through things, you have people around you that can empathize with you, that can come around and encourage you, right? The only problem this time around is the friends were not discerning. So in your friendship, ensure that when you're selecting your friend is such that has the ability to discern. If the friend of Job were able to discern the problem, where the problem of Job came from, they would probably not have spoken the way they did, right? They would not have said the things they said. But because they spoke from just their wisdom and their common sense, they enter a lot of problems and said a lot of things that were not accurate, right? So one of the things you should also watch out for, as much as you need people that will be there for you in the days of trouble, what the people that are there for you in the days of trouble say is as important as their presence. Because if their presence brings you more discouragement than their absence, if their presence brings you more discouragement than their absence, then they had better not be your friends. Your friends needs to be discerning. You yourself as a Christian needs to be discerning. It is not every time people are in trouble that is because of their sin. Remember the story of that man that Jesus healed, that the disciples asked, who sinned that this man was born blind? Is it the parent or the person? Jesus said none of them sinned. This happened so that the name of God will be glorified. So it's not every problem that came from people's sin. Some of these things may just be for God to glorify himself. Just like we saw in the life of Job, that Jesus or God was trying to show the devil that truly a man can be perfect and stand regardless of the situation. So just like the friends of Job, you need people that are available to show up in the days where things go south. And also, you need people that can be discerning. The next example I want us to look at is Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These are wonderful sets of young guys. Every time I read their story, their faith, their show of belief in the God Yahweh always challenges me. Men that defiles fire. Now, the interesting thing about their friendship is from chapter 1, you will see how Daniel resolved in his heart not to destroy himself or to defile himself with the king's meal. And eventually you see that the decision was not his alone, because himself and his friends that requested that they be separated and treated separately, and to see what God will do. Now you need friends whose resolve in your faith, in your God, is at the same level as yours. Because just imagine the situation where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were asked to be thrown into fire. What if one of them had withdrawn? There's a possibility one of them withdraw if they were not of the same resolve, if they did not believe the same thing, if they were not standing for the same thing. There's a possibility that the one that decides to withdraw will affect the remaining two, and eventually the three of them are conquered. But that unity of faith, that strength, that friendship that has been built over time has helped their faith, that even as they are seeing their brother, they are encouraged. We need friendship like this in this end time. Friends that can stake their ground regardless of the consequences. Friends that will stand with you even when the consequences for your faith is very daring. You need to ask yourself, are the closest people that you call friends of the same faith as you are? These people that you call your friends, do they have the same resolve in the spirit as you have? There are people that believe a thing and have close friends that believe some other thing. It's a matter of time. A day is going to come that your faith will be tested. And when your faith is tested, the kind of words that come out from your friends will determine a lot. It may encourage or discourage you. So my friend, I advise you in choosing your next friend or examining your circle of friends, make sure you are rolling with people that have the same level of faith, or at least believe in the same thing that you believe in. Another wonderful example I want to look at is Jesus, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. My friend, you need a man of fire, a man of power. Just imagine if Jesus was like every other person that came to sympathize with the family of Mary and Martha. Lazarus was gone. Lazarus will be dead as at that instant. But because they had a man of power, a man of strength, a man that has relationship with God, that can beckon on God and God will show up on the spot. I'm telling you, you need a friend that knows God. A friend that knows God. Lazarus could not have prayed for himself to rise up from the dead. He needed somebody that was alive to do what? Who was the life and resurrection to pray for him. So my friend, you need friends that are spiritually alive, energized, men of power, not just some religious people around you. I'm not talking of church members. I'm not talking of pastors, or so to say. I'm saying you need someone you know knows God, just like you yourself knows God, because a day is going to come you will need your friend to pray for you, just like Jesus prayed for his friend Lazarus and he came back to life. And the final example I'll be looking at is the 4 friends and the paralyzed man in the book of Mark chapter 2. This is a story that is very amazing. My friend, you need men of faith around you. The Bible says that Jesus was teaching and the power of God was available to heal. Now, nobody knew literally among those that were listening, but because these men had faith for their friend, they went extra mile. You need people that will go extra mile for your sake. But another question is, how extra have you gone for anyone? Is there anyone you have really gone extra mile for? You need people that will go extra mile for you. Friends that believe in God's ability. friends that will hold hands together in the days of battle and pray with you. Things will not always go rosy as you see them. There are times where you need brothers like, oh, hello, guy, we need to pray. Hello, sister, we need to pray. Is there anyone among your friends that you know if you call them anytime, any day to say a word of prayer, they are always in the spirit to pray with you? Not men that will tell you, I'll be praying for you, but they never pray. I know many of us have made that promise to a brother or sister. Wow, this is a bad situation. I'll be praying for you. But you actually never pray for that person. You never prayed. So you need friends that you are sure when they say they are praying for you, yes, they are praying for you. And you yourself should be that kind of friend that prays for other friends. So these 4 friends had faith that Jesus can heal their friend. And because they had difficulty in getting their friend to Jesus, I don't even know how they did. It's probably they mounted ladder. Even if they used the ladder, how did they draw their friend to the top of the roof that they had to make a hole and lower him? Bible said Jesus saw their faith. Jesus saw their faith. Just like the point I made earlier, that you need men of faith. You need men that will pray with you. Those are the friends you need in this time. So my friend, choose wisely. Remember, the friendship is not by force, but by choice. Consider your destiny. Consider your faith. Consider your family before you choose your friends. And once again, Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and you'll be wise. Walk with spiritual men and you will be spiritual. Walk with powerful men and you will be powerful. But the company of fools destroys them. Thank you very much for watching this video. I believe you have been equipped with the right wisdom on how to choose your next set of friends. I wish you all the best. God bless you.